Guys, it's Saturday, October 26, 2024. I'm wearing one of my Soccer Mommy t-shirts. Her new album just came out. I might be seeing her on tour next year, but that is not what this video is about. Let me backtrack. A couple of years ago, I found out about something called the Media Access Awards, which honors authentic disability representation in the media. And I've socialized a little bit with some of these other disabled actors over the years, and so of course when I found out about the awards and I watched them, and I'm thinking, where's my invite? Like, why am I not invited to be one of these people that's on stage presenting or in a skit or something? So I thought, you know what? Let me do something constructive and reach out and see if they might need any help this year. So that's what I did. Several months ago, I reached out to their Instagram account, and someone messaged me back, and they said, I mentioned that, I've done some remote work for festivals before, and, I've also gone in person and helped out at conventions and festivals. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we can find something for you to do. But they weren't sure. And I got a message, I think earlier this month, last month, I'm not sure, semi-recently, and they said, hey, if you're in the Los Angeles area on this specific date, then we need volunteers. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it was still very vague, so I'm thinking, okay, well, what are the volunteer duties? Like, what's the date and time? What's the venue, So I messaged back and I said, okay, that sounds great. And they asked me for my contact info, so I just gave my email. So I got an email yesterday saying that they didn't have any volunteer positions available, but they extended an invite to put me on the guest list and have me come watch the taping of the show. And I'm thinking, if I turn this down, they might never offer it again. So I better take the opportunity. And it could lead to something else. It could lead to me being more involved in the future. Something else that's slightly related to my travels is this entire year, like, I've been trying to possibly catch Michael J. Fox at one of his convention appearances, because I've never met him. Didn't even know until the beginning of this year that he does convention appearances occasionally. So even before I found out about my invite to the Media Access Awards, I had scheduled to go to Rhode Island Comic-Con to get like a professional photo op and an autograph from him, because I thought, okay, that's probably going to be my one opportunity to meet him in life, right? Well, right now, it turns out we both have the same schedule for this week, because he's going to be given the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Media Access Awards. So right now our schedules are both Media Access Awards early in the week and then Rhode Island Comic-Con later. What I'm hoping will happen in the off chance is that I hope I would get to meet him as a fellow actor at the Media Access Awards. And then that way I can cancel, going to Rhode Island Comic-Con and meeting him and having him think of me as a fan. I'm supposed to dress formal. I have a couple of dresses in my arsenal that I would consider as formal dresses, glittery dresses, evening gowns, whatever you want to call them. A lot of the dresses I have are like trendy looking goth dresses, and I don't think that's what they would want at a cocktail event. And I also need to figure out some sort of evening bag. All of my bags at the moment, I have a lot of very cute bags, very cute, like Killstar, Juicy Couture, Painted Stitches bags, but none of them are evening bags. So I might have to take a trip over to TJ Maxx and Marshalls. So I went over to TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I went to TJ Maxx and I saw I saw some Halloween purses. I saw a skull-shaped Betsy Johnson bag that I'd like to think it could have been potentially used as an evening bag, but I didn't buy it. I left it there. I was tempted though. And then I looked around the rest of the purses. I saw something that might potentially work for the awards show, but I thought, you know what, let me do some more browsing, possibly go to Marshalls, which is what I did. And then, if I didn't see anything at Marshalls, I figured I'd come back to TJ Maxx. Well, as soon as I went into Marshalls, I went into the purse section. I don't know if they had any more of these or if this was just the only one, but I saw this. Really awesome. Pink metallic. It also comes with this little metallic juicy wristlet. So I figure that's one option, depending on what dress I pick out. I also got this from Marshall's. I finally found some, and I hate, y'all know I hate handling glass bottles, but I finally found some some seasonal coffee syrup that I was interested in. This is Torani Toasted Marshmallow scent, or flavor rather. And then I went back over to TJ Maxx and I picked up that purse that I was thinking about. They had a few metallic looking purses that had snap closures, and I thought, no, I've really found out that I'm not that partial to snap closure purses, because I could accidentally grab the wrong side of it and then the bag opens up and everything spills out, and I might have no idea that I'm leaving something behind if I'm getting out of a car or whatever. So I ended up getting this as an option. This does have a zipper to it. I almost forgot, when I was at TJ Maxx and I was getting that metallic silver purse, I looked at the jelly beans briefly at the front of the store, and I found these sour jelly beans. I have some other seasonal jelly beans that maybe I should do a jelly bean taste test at some point. So I'm looking forward to trying these. If it were up to me, I'd be dressing more goth and spooky and, you know, putting more of my personality into what I'm choosing to wear to the award show. But a lot of these things are formal. A lot of them are dressed to impress, especially out in Hollywood. It's 4:20 p.m. and my hairdresser left a little while ago. I've just been chilling, watching YouTube videos and washing clothes and drinking some ginger ale. But anyway, so this is probably the best that my hair is gonna look between now and the time that I come back from Los Angeles, so I figured I'd document it on video. I checked my refund policy for Rhode Island Comic-Con, like as far as photo ops and autographs and all that go. The refund deadline has already passed. It passed by this last Thursday. So like I said, I'm hoping there's a chance I'd get to meet Michael J. Fox at the award show on Tuesday, but if not, then I'll go through with the Rhode Island Comic-Con thing as previously planned. Good morning. It's Monday, October 28th, 2024. It's 3:55 a.m. and I am headed to the airport. It's 12:15 p.m. I just made it to the room. This hotel and the airport that I chose ended up both being smaller. So this is the restroom, and this is the rest of the room. Honestly, I feel like this part of the room looks at least a little bit more modern than the restroom does. But yeah, so I just got here and I was originally gonna stay in San Gabriel, but I decided, after talking to one of my friends, I decided to switch to Arcadia. Here's a microwave. It's probably a coffee maker. There's an ice bucket. And here's a desk. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not going, my plan is to not leave the room again until tomorrow when I actually go to the award show. Oh, I almost forgot to record this. This is, I wasn't expecting this. It's kind of like a lounge area right here, a little bit. Oh, I can see the mountains from here. This is my view. I was seeing mountains on the way from the Long Beach airport here. So my flights today were all good. The first one to Dallas was a little over an hour, and then from Dallas to Long Beach, it was about 3 hours. Once I got to Long Beach Airport, I discovered what a very small and eerie airport it is. I was reading up on it yesterday just to kind of see like what films and TV shows and stuff have been filmed here. There was a scene in Addams Family Values that was filmed at Long Beach Airport. So I thought, oh, okay, cool. But then I got there and oh my gosh, it's a extremely tiny airport. There aren't a lot of signs. The one thing that really worries me is the cell reception there is not that great. And I didn't know exactly where to go to get ground transportation. So thankfully I found a convenience store and I asked the lady in there and, I grabbed a turkey sandwich and a bottle of water and I asked the lady, I said, where's ground transportation? And she's like, it's across the street. I said, okay, well, I'm visually impaired. Can someone help me, catch a taxi or Lyft or something? So she talked to a coworker of hers who was standing nearby, and that lady called somebody else, and she wasn't sure who exactly to talk to get assistance for disabled people at the airport. And I thought, oh no, that's another red flag. But thankfully they did find somebody, and this lady was nice enough to walk with me. It definitely would have been confusing if I had attempted doing it on my own. So she walked with me outside, and I requested a lift, and on the Lyft app, the ride doesn't seem that long. It's only about maybe 30 something minutes. But when you go in to see how much it's gonna cost, I mean, $73. So yeah, I don't know. The Lyft driver was telling me that rush hour around here starts at 2:30 in the afternoon. So I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. But regardless, I'm not planning on leaving my hotel room until tomorrow when I have to go to the awards show. I'm a little nervous because I have no idea what time to go over there. I don't know of anybody that's going. 4:40 in the afternoon. I ordered from a place called BJ's. I was trying to decide between that and Red Robin. It seemed like they were both going to be about the same for a burger. It's like the same amount of money. So I got a bacon cheeseburger and some fries and a Dr. Pepper. I was very nervous, and still am, about being out here in Los Angeles, because I feel like in the media, they either go one extreme or the other. You either hear about the glitz and glam of Hollywood, or you hear about the other extreme, which is like the homelessness, the crime. I think back to those days of watching shows like Dateline NBC, where they would talk about how a young actress had gone out to a supposed audition, and it would turn out that it wasn't an audition after all. It was just, some nefarious guy or group of guys meeting up with her at an abandoned building. So yeah, I am nervous about this excursion. I have no idea what time to leave from the hotel tomorrow. I don't want to get there too early and be standing outside on the street by myself. So I'm gonna drift off to sleep early because it's been a long day. Good morning. It's October 29th, 2024, 6 a.m. I thought the lady said breakfast starts at 6 o'clock around here, but I went down there and none of the tables were occupied. I didn't see or smell any food out, but I did see people getting coffee, maybe like 2 or 3 other people. So, and I heard some noise that I'm assuming must have been coming from the kitchen, from preparing the food. So I just went ahead and grabbed myself some coffee and put some vanilla coffee creamer in it. And I'll head back down a little bit later and double check to see what's going on. But as I was getting back on the elevator, I got on, I pressed my floor, the 4th floor, and then a guy got on and he went to the same floor I did. And, those stories about women with, guys getting on the elevator and sometimes they follow the woman to her floor and stuff like that. So I got to the 4th floor and I told the guy to go ahead. So he went ahead of me and I waited for maybe 10, 20 seconds. I didn't hear a door open and close, but anyway. I waited for a little while until I was confident that he had probably made it down the hall. Same side of the hall that I'm going on. So anyway, I'm now back in my room. I have the do not disturb sign on the door. I got the door locked, and I guess I'll go back down around 7 and hopefully there'll be some food out. It's 7:18 a.m. I just made 2 trips downstairs. On the first trip, when I got down there, the ladies were still setting up the hot food. So I kind of looked around at the baked goods. I put a banana in my pocket to be able to carry that up easier. And I got a plate with some bacon strips and eggs and a decaf black coffee. And then on my second trip downstairs, I got myself 1 scoop of oatmeal. I thought about 2 scoops, but I didn't want to risk overfilling it. 2 people in the last half hour have told me to remember to breathe, and 4 people within the last 24 hours have told me to have fun. If I get to the venue at, let's say, 5 o'clock today and there's nobody there, I'll either have the Lyft driver drop me off and wait till 5:30 and then request another Lyft if I don't see anybody coming up to the venue, or I will just have the driver turn around and bring me back to the hotel right away. I was looking around on DoorDash and I decided to get some food from a place called the Old Spaghetti Factory. So I got some, I don't know if this is house salad or Caesar salad. Some sort of salad. It looks and smells really good. And then I got this loaf of bread, which is still hot, and I got a macaroni and cheese. Facebook friend Crystal has been keeping up with my adventures in Los Angeles, and she was asking me about the event, you know, like what it is and where it is, and I didn't tell her what it is, but since she's a lot more familiar with the area than I am, I did tell her where the event is and, you know, like what time I would have to be there. And she was reassuring about the fact that it's, like, the area is safe. She said there are usually a lot of people there, a lot of tourists. There's lots of shops I can go into. She said Amoeba Music is nearby, which is nice. I've been wanting to go there. I looked it up on Google Maps. It does look like Amoeba Music would be about a 4-minute walk. Whenever I'm not familiar with an area, I feel like anything over 2 or 3 minutes is it's just kind of overwhelming and intimidating, but it's nice that it's near there. She and my friends Jen and Scott both told me to allow myself some extra time to get to the venue. Crystal said that the World Series is in town today. Don't ask me what kind. I guess that's sports. I don't know if it's football or baseball or what it is. But anyway, the World Series is happening. And so she said there's going to be a lot of traffic. And, you know, people have basically told me to allow for at least an hour to get to the venue. So I'm going to go ahead and rest a bit, maybe take a nap. And then I will get ready around, let's say 3 or 3:30ish. Morning, it's October 30th, 2024. It's 4 a.m., so I don't want to be too loud. But I will say that I got in from the awards show at about 10 p.m. last night. I've been awake since 3 a.m. I finished off my macaroni. And I'm going to get ready to go to the airport, and at some point today I will fill you in on how the awards went last night. It's 6:57 a.m. I just made it to the Long Beach airport about an hour ago, and I had a breakfast sandwich and a water, and the flight boards in about an hour from now. There ended up being an unexpected change of plans, and after we got on the plane they told us that the flight would be about 2 hours and 35 minutes. And, you know, that was nice because it was about but it's going to be about a half an hour shorter than it would have been to get here. But they ended up not long after that telling us that they had found a small leak in the main engine. So they ended up giving us the option of getting off the plane, which I did with all of my stuff. And so now they're going to put me on a flight to Houston, and then from Houston I'll go home and get home tonight, several hours later than originally planned. 7:53 p.m. I just got home from the airport. I'm exhausted. My sinuses are extremely dry. I keep forgetting to bring a mask with me to try to prevent that airplane air from drying out my sinuses. But anyway, I'm exhausted. I'm not even going to bother unpacking anything tonight. And I gotta be at the airport again at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Morning and happy Halloween. It is a little after 5:15 in the morning on October 31st. If I sound different, it's because for the past week I've been feeling like I'm on the verge of either getting post-nasal drip or sinus infection. And after all of this airplane air the past few days and not wearing a mask on the plane, I've just been feeling even worse right here in my sinus cavity. So I have a feeling when I get home, I might end up needing to go to urgent care. I've really been trying to ward it off with probiotics and Greek yogurt and drinking water. So when I left my hotel on Tuesday afternoon, the Lyft driver seemed fine at first. You know, he was listening to the Beatles and we were kind of making polite chit chat. And then at some point, I think maybe it's because I had asked him about like, oh, y'all film a lot of movies out here in Los Angeles, huh? You know, and I was just gonna let him rattle on about that. And at some point he was asking me, oh, you're not into any of that, are you? And I'm like, kind of, you know, and I'm thinking, where's he going with this? And then he tells me, you remind me of Jenny. And I'm thinking, who the hell's Jenny? And so I said, who? He's like, Jenny from Forrest Gump. And I'm thinking, oh, that's random. It's kind of an insult, honestly, considering all the stuff that character went through. And then a little while later, we were riding around on the bridge with all these lanes of cars around us. And he starts telling me about how one time he went to go, one of the rides he picked up was from American Idol. And how when he got to her, he offered to cut her a deal off of the Lyft app so that her ride would be cheaper. And how she just flat out told him that made her uncomfortable. Me as a solo female traveler, I totally understand that. So she told him it made her feel uncomfortable. She refused the ride and she paid him $100. I'm guessing she paid him $100 just to get him to go away. And I'm thinking, wow, like the, like I'm starting to feel creeped out listening to this story. And then after he tells me that story, he tells me another anecdote about how there was a time where he picked up a group of people and he offered to cut them a deal off the app too. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, this is getting to be too much. And I'm kind of looking out the windows and I'm thinking, oh shit, like I would not be able to just jump out of the car right here because there's like speeding cars going by us on the damn bridge. And so for the rest of the ride, I felt very uncomfortable. I ended up, he did drop me off at my destination, which was nice. He was telling me a bit about the areas that we were passing by, Pasadena and Glendale and Silver Lake. And then eventually we got to the destination and I gave him a 2-star rating because I didn't want to be paired up with this guy again. And thankfully when I got to the venue, there were people standing outside and there was one guy who walked up to help me right away and asked, you know, I asked him, I said, you know, is this such and such venue? And he's like, yeah. And so I said, okay, you know, I'm here for the award show. And he found my name on the guest list. So there was a lady who escorted me inside and it was extremely dark in the lobby area, as you can imagine. And she took a few pictures for me in front of the step and repeat. I kind of wish I had thought to put the flash on for a couple of the photos, but I didn't even occur to me. So I just had her take photos as is with the flash off, like I usually have it. And then she had me sitting at a table by myself. I was kind of hoping some other people might come up and talk to me, but they didn't. And then a little while later, there was a lady that walked by to tell me hello, and I asked her where the restroom was, and she had somebody guide me to the restroom. And then once I came out of the restroom, she asked me if I wanted to sit at a table with a couple of people. So I said, sure. And so she walked up to the table and she's like, ladies, this is Christina, you know, whatever introduction she was making. And so I ended up sitting with these two ladies. And I think one of them had a daughter in the film industry. And so we were kind of talking quite a bit about, you know, Los Angeles and the Louisiana film industries. And at one point she asked me how I got invited to the show. And so I told her, and, you know, I'm thinking, oh, it's kind of a strange question, you know, like honestly, that's something I wouldn't even think to ask somebody. I personally think it's kind of rude. I can understand if you want to ask somebody, hey, are you in the film industry? So we talked for a little bit, and then she and her friend, her daughter, whatever, they went to go take pictures in front of the step and repeat. And I kind of stood there and watched people take pictures and watched people socialize. I felt very intimidated. I think there was probably at least 200 or 250 people there. And, you know, when it comes to large crowds, especially when people seem like they all already know each other, and, you know, I don't want to be rude and interrupt somebody's conversation if they're talking about something super important. So I did not approach anybody to talk to them. I was too scared. And when it was time to go into the room for the ceremony, I went to sit at my table. So the award show was really great. Molly Burke actually ended up sitting at the table next to me. And after a little while, after she kind of got set up with her microphone and everything like that, I went up to talk to her, and she was very nice, and I introduced myself and told her that that she was my very first Poshmark customer back in the day. And she actually specifically remembered every single thing I sent her. The handbag, the Starbucks gift card. I had completely forgotten that I sent her a PetSmart gift card, but she remembered that too. That's very sweet. And she asked me a lot of questions about myself, and I told her I'm in the film industry, and you know, talked a little bit about improv, and I don't remember every single thing, but anyway, point is she was very, very sweet. And so we took some pictures together. And then the award show taping happened, and they would have pauses in between to kind of, you know, if they needed to set up the stage, or if they needed to like retape something to get better audio or video on it. And so the taping lasted maybe about an hour, a little more than that. I did get to talk a little bit to one of my teachers that I had at Queen's Theater a couple of years ago. And she was really nice. I was telling her that I was really nervous to be there. And she's like, why? These are our people. And I'm thinking, yeah, she makes a good point. You know, I'm sure everybody here is very nice. I'm just incredibly awkward and anxious and terrified to talk to new people. But anyway, it was nice to see her. And after the show, I ended up just standing around again in this award show table area where they had everybody, and everyone's in groups talking amongst themselves, and I'm just kind of watching, wondering if anybody's gonna come up and talk to me. And eventually one of the volunteers came up, and he asked me if I needed any help. And at that point, it was getting to be around 9 o'clock. You know, and I knew I needed to get back to my hotel because I had an early flight the next day. So I had him, so I asked him if he could walk outside with me and help me catch a lift. So he did. And the Lyft driver going back was fine. You know, it was a lady. She just listened to her radio the whole time. So it was all good. So I went to sleep, got up around 3 a.m. So I caught Lyft around 4:30 or 5 a.m. in the morning. And they actually, when I got to the airport, there was somebody like immediately right away who was there to help me. And she walked me through the TSA checkpoint to my gate, which was very nice. So when I got on the plane, at first they had us all seated, and they told us it was going to be a 2-hour and 35-minute flight. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's cool. It's going to be a half an hour less than what it was when I came here. And then a few minutes later, they tell us, oh, we've detected a small leak coming from the main engine. And I'm thinking, oh no. I do not, like, at that point, I already did not feel comfortable with the idea of taking that exact plane if it had something wrong with it. So I start seeing people on the phone to their loved ones, trying to figure out what they're gonna do, if they're gonna go to a different airport or whatever. And eventually, the airline staff gave us permission if we wanted to get off the plane, which I did. Brought everything with me, and they checked me into a later flight, which was taking off to go to Houston and then back home. So once I got home, it was around, or once I got to the home airport, it was around 7:30 last night. I got home a couple minutes before 8 o'clock. And so today I'm getting ready to go to to go to Rhode Island. It's 7:45 a.m. I have eaten practically an entire tub of Greek yogurt for the probiotics, but also because today's the Best By date. I drank 2 bottles of water. I took my probiotic gummies. I took my nasal spray. I'm bringing probiotics, nasal spray, and face masks with me. So I'm really trying to ward off whatever this is, because it's especially no fun being sick on vacation. Get you all up on the airplane food. Yesterday when I was at Long Beach for several hours, I got an Evian water and a bag of of white cheddar cheese puffs. And then when I got to the Houston airport later on, I didn't have enough time to go into one of the lines for the restaurants. So I grabbed a chicken Caesar wrap and another bottle of Evian water. So this morning I stopped at Starbucks. They only had one customer at the time, so I got a turkey bacon sandwich and a bottle of water and an apple crisp shaken espresso, but I didn't realize that she had put the apple crisp shaken espresso on the counter. So I'm standing there for like 5-10 minutes. They put out all these other mobile orders, so eventually there's 4 drinks sitting on the counter. So after about 5 or 10 minutes, I walked up and I'm like, do y'all have a drink for Christina? And they asked me which one, and I told them, and they looked at one of the drinks on the counter, and sure enough, that was it. Editing Christina here, I realized that I accidentally I deleted some of the footage permanently from my phone that I had filmed on November 1st. So when I got into Rhode Island, this is a recap by the way, since I don't have those clips. When I got to Rhode Island on Halloween evening around 5 p.m., my friend picked me up from the airport. We dropped off my suitcase at his house. I briefly met his cats, and then we went to his workplace because he likes to go there to eat for free. So we did that for dinner. And then the next day, before we left, and this was the footage that I accidentally edited out, he wanted to go visit somebody who was a former roommate of his. So I had started off the day kind of talking to the camera about, we're planning on going to visit a former roommate of his, and then, we were going to go eat pizza, and then get some Instagram photos for me, because I really wanted photos from of the fall foliage, and it was his idea to get some photos of me at the beach. So that's where this picks up at. So we were headed to the beach and probably a couple other places to try to get photos for my Instagram. And as we were walking up the sidewalk, I didn't realize that there was like a section where the sidewalk ended and it was sand right next to it. So my foot fell to the side, my left foot, and I fell and hurt both of my knees and scraped up my hand a little bit. So now we are headed, I was just joking with my friend. I said, I feel like the universe is telling me to go to urgent care to get my sinuses checked out. So going over there right now. Good morning. It's Saturday, November 2nd, and it is freezing cold outside. Y'all might wonder why I'm sitting outside despite not feeling well. I'm just so not used to having a screened-in porch. Is that? I think those are seagulls or ducks or something. Anyway, so yesterday we went to urgent care. So the doctor came in yesterday, and she was talking to me and checking like my sinuses and stuff like that. And I mentioned to her that around this time last year I had COVID, and she's like, oh, I don't think you had COVID. And I said, well, to me it felt like a sinus infection like I feel right now. So, can you do a COVID test, please? So she did. So the COVID test came back negative. And the lady concluded that she thinks I have postnasal drip. And so we went ahead and she's prescribed me some medication. She also checked out my hand and my knees, which are a little skinned up. And so she prescribed me a cream, like a topical ointment to put on them. And by the way, have I mentioned it's freezing cold outside? I feel like I should have brought a fleece coat with me, but I had no idea what the weather was going to be like. I'm not used to being up here around this time of year. So we left there, and we didn't get to go pick up the prescription because the pharmacy at that Walmart had already closed. It's about 10:30. I woke my friend up at 9:30 and checked on him at 9:45. He had fallen back asleep. So he woke up at 9:45, and now it's 10:30. I just checked on him and told him that I need to be in line for my photo op at 11:30. So he says he's gonna hurry. My friend has never been to a convention before, and he's not sure he's gonna go today. He thinks they're a scam, the celebrities charging for photos and autographs and stuff. It's 12 p.m. We got held up by traffic because of a car accident, and I think I missed my photo op, but we ended up parking at the mall, and now we're gonna walk to the convention center and see what happens. It's 6:42 p.m. and I am staying at my friend's house. He's out at a party. I told him to go go have fun, go have a good time. I'm tired. So excuse me. I'm here with his cats. So we got to the mall today and we parked in the parking lot, walked through the mall a bit to get to some specific exit. And then we walked a couple blocks to get to the convention center. And, my friend has never been to a convention before. He's told me this is his first and his last convention ever. And I think this convention kind of ruined any other potential convention that he might have even slightly been interested in. Because now his view of all conventions is they're all, like, terribly organized. People are just jam-packed in like sardines. There's total disorganization. So we got to the convention center. He paid the $74 to get in. We both got the ADA wristbands. I did have my cane with me, and I used it most of the day, so I do feel like that helped. In fact, we didn't even have to go through any sort of bag check or anything. The guy was really nice, and he just let us go right through. So we went in, and first, we went to multiple floors. I know, I know what it was. We went to the VIP booth, and I didn't realize, apparently the convention had sent me a VIP badge in the mail with a lanyard. I didn't even know that. So they asked me if I had that, and I said no, but, I showed them the proof of purchase on my Ticketmaster account. So, they were cool with that. And, there were a couple more times in the venue where I had to show that proof of purchase on Ticketmaster's website. But aside from that, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my scrapes on my hand from yesterday. Aside from that, we went to the photo op table, because we were told at the very beginning that we could get the refund for the Michael J. Fox photo op that I missed. And I partially missed it because, my friend, he's kind of laid back. He doesn't really get, like I'm more of a deadline person, but he's not really into that. So, we missed my photo op, partly because he wasn't, ready by the time I wanted him to be ready, but also because we got into traffic. There was an accident on the road. So, missed the photo op when we went to the table, hoping to get it refunded. And the lady tells us, I can't refund you, but I can exchange it for other photo ops and autographs. Which is really unfortunate. You'd hope they'd want to make the customer happy by refunding them some money, So the lady took a shit ton of time with us going down the list, trying to find people that I might want to get a photo op or an autograph with. So I decided on an autograph from Mara Wilson, even though I have one or two from her already. And I think one maybe. And I decided on a professional photo op with Helen Hunt. In hindsight, I wish I would have decided to get an autograph from Christopher Lloyd, but I didn't do that. Instead, I tried to get somebody that my friend would like to meet. So he chose Skeet Ulrich, because there really wasn't a ton of people here I wanted to meet. A bunch of them actually canceled. 27 people canceled. So so he said he wanted to meet Skeet Ulrich, so we, tacked on an autograph from him. So the first place we went was to try to go get my selfie done with Christopher Lloyd. And I think it was around 1:45 at this time. He wasn't going to be at his table until 3. So instead, I said, okay, let's go to like the Helen Hunt photo op area. I think this is the way it was done. I mean, it's honestly kind of a blur because we kept running back and forth from different places. But so we went to go see Helen Hunt. And so I got my photo taken with her, and, it was just a quick little interaction, hi, I'm Christina, nice to meet you, we took the photo, and she said, thank you for coming, and And then we went to, I think after that was when we went to go find Mara Wilson's table. And I got an autograph from her. Once we got there, we found out she was doing selfies. I would have just paid for the selfie if I'd known that. But it was one of those things where some of the selfies were listed on the website, some of them weren't. So anyway, so I ended up getting an autograph from her and a selfie. And she was nice, and she does the selfie first, and then she does the autograph for people. And I was telling her, that I'm an actress, and I do a lot of film and TV and improv and stuff like that. She was nice, but I mean, she had a huge line of people, so she was not 100% engaged, you know what I mean? So after Mara Wilson, we went back upstairs, and I was able to get a selfie with Christopher Lloyd. He was nice. I really didn't want to keep him because he had such a huge line, so I just, told him, hi, I'm Christina, I'm an actress from New Orleans. And I think at that point I was kind of being rushed to go around the table and take the selfie with him. So even though I wanted to ask him for acting tips, I didn't. And honestly, the room was so packed with people, I don't even know if he heard me introduce myself to him or not. So I walked around the table and took a couple photos with him. And then we went to the other building. We took the Sky Bridge to the other building to see what the layout looked like, to see if we could... to see if my friend could get his autograph from Skeet Ulrich. And when we were in line for Mara Wilson, there was somebody right behind us who was telling us about kind of like what the layout is for that other building, that the celebrity autographs were happening, kind of in the basement area. It definitely looked like very much like a sports stadium. So when we got there, Skeet Ulrich was not there. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. I don't even know who the guy is. But when we got there, he wasn't even there at his table, and there was a huge overflow of people wanting to get his autograph and photos and stuff. And so they were all sitting in the bleachers, like way up, in the stadium. And my friend and I were like, oh, hell no, we're not waiting for this. So we, went all the way back through the crowd to the other building. And at this point, we stood in line. I think it was about maybe, 3:30-ish. So we stood in line for Michael J. Fox. And, at this point, I'd been walking around for hours. I was really starting to get overheated a couple of times when we were in Michael J. Fox's line because of the crowd, because of all the body heat. So there were several times where I had to sit down on the floor, and I took my jacket off and everything. And one thing that did help is while we were in line, there was some person that was asking for donations, and in exchange for donations, she had like a bunch of treats that she and I guess her coworkers had made for people. So my friend and I both ended up getting like a caramel apple cupcake or something like that. It was really, really good. Definitely needed a bit of a sugar rush to get through that last bit there. And so we got in line for Michael J. Fox. They tell you, put your cell phones away. No selfies or anything like that. Whatever we want to get signed, we need to have it out and ready for him to sign it. And when we got in the tent, it was an assembly line, and I had heard that, kind of read that once before on Reddit. But in that anecdote where I read it, the person who wrote that said that you could at least say hi to him. But this time there was like no hello. Like there was a bit of a barricade too, so you couldn't even get up close to the table where he was. And there were people standing in front of that barricade. And it was just an assembly line where people were handing him stuff to sign and then taking it and, putting it down at the end of the table for other people to grab their stuff. But I did get the autograph. It was $280. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity again. So I hope I get the opportunity for a photo op at some point. So my friend wanted to go to this party tonight. I told him I was extremely tired from just those 5 hours that we were there. And so I insisted that he go out tonight and have some fun with his friends. And I told him I got to get to the airport tomorrow, I guess by 5 at the latest. And we did stop at Sonic to get me some food. I got a cheeseburger and fries and a witch's brew slushy float, which it kind of tasted like a green apple creamsicle with grapes in it or something, or boba tea bubbles. It was interesting. So that's what I had for dinner, and I'm getting ready to go to sleep soon because I'm exhausted. 7:27 a.m. on Sunday, November 3rd, and I'm sitting in the Baltimore airport. I just got, my friend had brought me to the airport this morning, and he dropped me off at about 5 a.m. I didn't realize how long the TSA checkpoint was going to take. And so I ended up getting help to go through the TSA checkpoint, but the lady couldn't walk with me to my gate the rest of the way because I think she was one of the people that normally does the checking the baggage and stuff. So, but she told me where my gate was, so I got there right on time to pre-board. And now I'm in Baltimore, and I just got some pretzel bites and a water. And I think my flight boards in about an hour or so. It's 12:20 p.m. I made it home a little bit before noon, and I'm just gonna chill for the rest of the day because I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. So I'm gonna order some grocery delivery and wash some clothes and that sort of thing. Watch YouTube videos, catch up on stuff I haven't seen this past week. I've just been adding it to my watch list. So let me know which part of the vlog was your favorite. Unless I end up booking something, I feel like I'm just completely done traveling for the rest of the year. I've gone on 5 trips, and that's a lot more than some people have the good fortune of being able to go on. So let me know which part of the vlog was your favorite. Give this video a thumbs up because it helps the channel, helps out the algorithm. Subscribe if you aren't already. I'll see y'all next time.